Okay, yeah.
So say if we put the new wheel in.
Yeah.
So obviously when you take the wheel out, that you've got this like little release lever on the brake, which is this.
Mhm.
So when that's down,
Yeah.
the brake's done up.
Yeah.
When you want to take the wheel out, you undo that, and you can see the brake opens up.
Yeah.
So that means that the wheel, the tyre will fit through, and you can just pull the wheel out basically. Yeah. So like with the back wheel, I find it easiest to take wheels out with the bike the right way around. You know,
Okay.
A lot of people will turn them upside down. To be
Yeah.
honest, that just makes it really confusing.
Okay.
So like you undo the quick release, which will be quite tight, like that.
Yeah.
And then, so the quick release has got
Mhm.
a nut on that side. So once you've undone it, you undo that side to like loosen it off a little bit.
Yeah.
And then basically the way you're going to take the wheel out, you like the rear derailleur twists like that.
Yeah.
So twist it outwards.
All right. It just falls off.
Pick the bike up.
Huh.
There you go. Take the wheel out, basically like
Oh,
that.
that's amazing.
I mean, obviously that's maybe a little bit fiddlier than I make it look, but
Yeah.
try it a couple of times and you'll be okay.
Okay.
Like yeah, if you get this on.
So we're going to see whether the zip fits on the my bike, and then see whether we need to adjust the brakes. Yes. Is there any trick to putting it on? Oh, you
Well,
just
yeah.
fit it in.
So yeah, I find the chain, the bottom part of the chain's hanging down.
Mm.
So I just through the quick release onto that part there. Imagine there was a cassette there.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you had a cassette, if there was a cassette on there, put it into the smallest cog before you take it off, and then when you put it back in, rest the chain on the smallest cog again.
Smallest cog.
And so then you just basically, it's not quite, it's a bit more fiddly when you don't have a cassette on the wheel, but yes, it's in.
All right. So it does fit on the.
Yeah, so it's slotted in pretty well. So yeah, it's done up. You don't need to see the quick, the quick release just needs to be fairly firm to do up. If it's done up, then the wheel's not coming off.
Sure.
And so yeah, now we see the brake. If we do it up like that,
Does it spin all right?
so yeah, it's pretty much as tight as it was with the other wheel.
Okay.
It's maybe slightly looser, which tells me that the wheel is slightly slimmer than the other one. But also the dishing of the wheel, which is like the position of the wheel within the frame.
Yeah.
I think this one is a little bit more precision. Yeah, the other wheel is like obviously a little bit cheaper, a little bit more of a basic wheel.
Yeah.
And the more expensive a wheel is, the more directly central. Like we're talking like a millimetre off here.
Yeah.
But this is more central, so you're going to have to adjust the brake just a little bit. But this is like no tools required whatsoever.
Sure.
So when you put in this wheel, so you can see if you look, the gap in between that one and that one is different. There's a bigger gap here.
Yeah.
So all you do is you grab the brake
You just twist.
and
Just twist it.
you have to like put force on it, and you'll feel it move.
Yeah.
And it moves to a new position, and then
And that's it.
and then it's still.
Okay.
So like it's completely tight, but if you grab it and twist it,
Yeah.
it will just move it to the right position. So that's how you do it. So
Okay.
now it's central. You see, there's the same space on
Stays
both
the same.
sides. If it's not 100% perfect, don't worry about that. Just as long as there's space
Pretty
on both
close.
sides, basically, and it's pretty close.
Yeah. Perfect. Awesome.
So as you see, like as you put it on,
Yeah.
it goes down into the bottom gear. So yeah, the best thing to do, like hold it like this,
Yeah.
hold it up. So we put that.
Oh yeah, I forgot to adjust that.
Yeah, it's a good thing I should say. When you're putting it back in, obviously when you're taking it out it doesn't really matter, but when you're putting it back in, you obviously want to make sure it's in perfectly straight.
Okay.
So that's why I do it this way round, because if you do it upside down it's quite easy to put it in straight. So when before you do the quick release up, once you've done this side up, like the way I do it, the way I tighten it up is I like put my chest on the seat, so you're sort of like pushing the bike downwards.
Yeah.
The chest on the seat like that, so I rest my weight on the bike, and then do it up, and it means that it pushes the wheel into exactly the right position, so that that's tight enough, but I do it up a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then you can just adjust that brake again. Lift the rear wheel up.
Yeah.
And change gear one by one. And as you're doing it, just like spin the pedal around with your foot. It's a bit of a funny thing, but okay. So the shows me the cable stretch a little bit. So what I'm doing, basically I'm going, so I'm changing gear that way, and I noticed that when I changed gear it wasn't quite going into the cog above as smoothly as it should.
Yeah.
So what I do is I turn that dial,
Yeah.
the direction that I want the chain to go.
Oh, right, okay.
So I've just turned it like a little bit that way.
Yeah.
And now,
smoother.
Yeah. So now I go carry on up. Then go back down again.